What's up YouTube, it's Steve. Once again, it's time for baseball. So today I'm here with this, my first impressions video of MLB 15, the show. So let's get started. So first off, this is not the 10th anniversary edition. That one comes in like a steel case, as well as like a the wood grain colored box, as well as a bunch of other extras. The GameStop that I purchased this one from had absolutely none in stock. They received none shipped to them, so take that for what it was. But this is the regular edition. Now in this one, like I said, you don't get any of the extra things like the MLB team themes, as well as the MLB 15 the show themes. On this one you get your year-to-year saves, which I will be going over in this video. You also get licensed equipment if you're doing Road to the Show. Basically what that means is you get to equip your created player with licensed gear. They're also introducing 30 iconic MLB alumni with virtual player cards. I'm not sure what exactly you're able to do with those, but it's included in the game. And then it also has major graphical improvements. So of course, whenever you input a new game, you always get this load up screen, which is what it's doing now, is loading the game to install it. And then you also see some of the other screenshot information from the game. You can also see if you have any friends who actually have this game, if they're playing it, and how far along they are. On here, just like they did last year, they have included the digital game manual, which I think is kind of, I understand they're doing it to save paper, but at the same time it's kind of a hassle because you can't, it's difficult to switch in the middle of a game and go and look up the game manual if you're looking for information. So for that, I recommend anybody trying to find out other information, you can always go to Operation Sports, the website, and get information there. You can also see, like I said, if you know people that are playing the game, you can see different achievements that they've accomplished. And so with that being said, let's get into it. So right now it's still downloading upload file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video and come back to it once it's complete. Alright, and so here we've got a setup. It's basically asking how often do you play games, and we're going to select regularly. Now right off the bat, looking at the demo screen here, things do look a bit crisper. I know at this point I'm not going to be able to load anything because it's probably still loading all of the teams, but the just looking at everything, it looks sharper. Alright, and you can hear a little bit of what the commentators are saying in reference to year-to-year saves. This gameplay here from the pitcher's viewpoint, I mean, this is the same viewing angle that I used in 14, but they definitely sharpened this up. Everything from the players to the uniforms, as well as the people in the stands, and they look a little bit more lively. They look, their movement seems to be a little bit more fluid, even though it's much better than what was on the PlayStation 3, MLB 14 the show. The differences between the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4 version was pretty significant. However, even on the PlayStation 4's version, when you would see like the vendors moving through the crowd, they looked a little blocky. Here, this looks about as close to being at a live game as can be. So let's see what the pitching looks like. Alright, and you can see there was a little angle, a little red mark on the screen that showed the pitching angle. And a foul ball. Now one of the things that I have noticed, the load time between MLB 15 and 14 doesn't really seem to be changed all that much. I mean, it still takes a little bit, and I understand with the PlayStation 4 and having to load a lot more as far as all of the teams, all of the stadiums and everything. I understand that, but I was kind of hoping the load time would be just a little bit quicker. Okay, and one of the things that you can see up top here, you can see the install meter, upper left hand corner. So we can see right here it's got quite a bit to go. So what we're going to do is I am going to back out of this video, or take a pause here, and come back once everything's loaded, and then I'll be able to go over how to go about importing your previous season save. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Alright, here we go, loading up. One of the things that I'm really interested in is, strangely enough, the intro. Alright, so one of the things that I was really looking forward to was this, the intro. And let's see if we can get a little sound on this. And this one's a little different than 14, because 14 actually showed the stadiums here. They're kind of showing them in the background a little bit. Different, not necessarily bad, just different. You can't see the team names there. Alright, so here we go. So what's happening here is they've just applied and uploaded the latest roster. So right off the bat you find out you'll earn stuff while you play, and then here's a few things to start. You start off with the shoes here for Road to the Show for Diamond Dynasty, and that's what the alumni cards are for. You can use those in Diamond Dynasty. You also start off with a Marucci Silver sponsorship, and this is going to be used in franchise mode. This is interesting as well. I'm looking forward to seeing how this works with having sponsorships and incorporating different different vendors and different types of equipment on the team. That's going to be really interesting. And it shows here this fourth item is to be used in Road to the Show and Diamond Dynasty, and it says your next stamp or bonus will be available in 4 hours and 42 minutes. So here is the main screen. You can get into exhibition games or the show live or online. Here's where your franchise, your online franchise and season modes are, your community challenges, your mini modes, and if you're new to this game or this series, this is where I would recommend you would go to first, simply because you get a chance to practice, you get a chance to understand how fielding works, how batting works. You can tweak your settings and practice them here, so that once you start a franchise, you kind of know where to go. Okay, up next is Diamond Dynasty, and the description says a fantasy baseball card mode that allows you to build your own custom team, play against other players or the computer in your quest to create the greatest team of all time. And then last is the Road to the Show, and everyone knows what this is. Basically, like it says, single player mode focused on your players' path to the majors. So you can create your own player, bring them up through the minors, and if fortunate enough, he can get selected by a major league team and then play your career from there. One of the biggest selling points of this game is the ability to import your season from MLB 14. And that's one of the things that I'm going to do right now. So first, once you hit the once you select franchise, it brings up this screen and you get to select whether you want to, which one you want to go into. So what we're going to do is go into franchise, and here is where you import your previous season. So you can do a brand new franchise. You can continue if you've already started one on MLB 15. You can continue from MLB 14. You can load from the cloud, or you can cancel. Now, in order to load from your MLB 14 game saves, what you need to do first is make sure that your current information on MLB 14 is saved, and I would recommend you save it to the PlayStation as well as save it to the cloud. So we're going to go ahead and select that, and as you can see right here, I've got, for some reason, two of the same ones, and we're going to go ahead and select one. Okay, so this brings you to your franchise home page, and on this day you see that there's no scheduled game. You can check your calendar, you can check your general manager's goals, which in this case mine is his yearly goal is to win a division, and his contract goal is to win division series, and the general manager rating is a C. And that, if you followed the Brewers at all, you probably understand why that is. Here you can check out the league updates. Now this shows you current games that are going on within the game. You're basically getting updates. Sponsorships you have over here, and you can notice here that there's one for batter walk-up. So we can check out our news ticket sponsor. You can check out your active replay sponsor and your batter walk-up sponsor. So this is really good. Now right now the only one we have is the Marucci Silver sponsorship, and that is $1,500 per hit. So what we want to do is we want to tack that, see if we can put it on the active replay sponsor. So since we only have one sponsor, we're only able to use him one time, and we're just going to put that on the active replay. He's our active replay sponsor, so whenever we get a hit and they show a replay, I guess we get $1,500. Alright, so let's come back out of here, and then down below you have training, which is locked. Now let's go into, since this GM goals appears to be new, let's go into it. So right off the top you see the previous year's budget, their player's salary, staff salary, and the available funds afterwards. And then you see right below that the projected budget for the current year. Since there's no game or anything started, there's nothing in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to my calendar, and this pretty much closed out my season. My last season I was 102-60. Okay, so we're going to advance here, and we see, congratulations, the Brewers have finished the season at 102-60 and won their division. You will be taking on the winner of the wild card playoff game. So since I never finished my playoffs in MLB 14, I'm actually going to get to do that here. And you see the regular season has come to an end. Now we can look and see different notables. You can see pitcher with the most wins was Andrew Kashner, pitcher with the most losses was Wood, and most saves was Steve Cishek with 46. For my calendar I have two home games and 2 away games, and then there's a lot flashing over here on the league updates, but you can see who's hot and who's not, and I like that. You don't have to go into another menu. Now it's just showing it right here on the main menu. Let's go into okay, so we've got some information here for our league. We see that the Brewers finished first in National League Central. It looks like there were some more awards handed out, and Carlos Gomez won Gold Glove. Well, that's interesting because he was not even in the running last time I played, but okay. Now, one of the things that I felt was lacking with MLB 14 The Show was the soundtrack. There were a couple of good songs, but for the most part there was a very slim selection, and that same trend is carried over here, you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 songs to pick from. And of course you have no option to add your own music, at least right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get into the playoffs here. I'm starting this first game with Matt Garza as my starting pitcher. And I'll show a little bit of gameplay here and then go ahead and wrap this video up. You can look, since I finished the season with such a good record, you can see the GM's rating actually jumped up to a B. When I first turned the game on, before I advanced to this postseason area, his rating was a C. So because the team met their yearly goal, it increased a bit. We still have the contract goal of winning the league pennant, so we'll see how that plays out here in the postseason. For the first game of the playoffs, I've got San Diego, and it's going to be Patrick Corbin matching up against Matt Garza. Alright, so let's get to it. We'll go with the home uniforms. One of the other things that's supposed to be revamped on this game is the commentary, so we'll see how that goes. I just wanted to check out the intro during the divisional series. Oh, here we go.
Back now live as we count down to the start of Game 1. Let's join public address announcer Mike Carlucci.
I noticed that even though this is the 2014 playoffs, public address announcer did announce them as the 2015 Brewers. So we're going to see what happens here. Alright, this here definitely seems to be cleaned up. On 14, when the manager would be walking the dugout, all of them, not all of them looked the same, but some of them had the same face shapes. There wasn't a lot of differentiation. That seems to have been cleared up in this game. Here they post Matt Garza's season stats. And now we're going to get to it. Alright, here we go.
Here comes the 1-0. And a good heater as he just watches this baby, a ball and a strike. Our temperature, not quite 60 degrees, 59 here at game time this afternoon. Here's the 1-1.
It's a little low, but
Around to the left side, and Segura won't have a shot here. It's by him for a base hit.
Yeah, a nice job there going the other way with this ball. This is something that they're going to need to do. And he's on base with the leadoff single to start the ball game. Fastball there for a ball strike. That's about where he'll sit with that fastball. 93, 94. That's plenty hard enough to pull by guys.
And he'll get the fielder with first play at second, but that's all. Stand in, held hitless in the wild card game. Yeah, they wound up not needing it in that victory, but.
And so that wraps up this first impressions video of MLB 14 The Show. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Let me know what your setup is, what team you're using, and if anybody's interested, drop your gamer tag down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.